Kelly File follow-up for you now on a prediction that pollster Frank Luntz and his focus group made heading into yesterday's Iowa caucuses. It was a two-man race, according to most polls, but after 30 debate with Fox News, voters began focusing on another candidate, whose finish in the Hawkeye State last night has become a headline all of its own.
I want to show the audience at home. How many of you walked in here supporting Marco Rubio? Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3 of you. How many of you are going home most likely to vote for Rubio? Raise your hands. That's the impact of a single debate. How likely are you to stay with Marco Rubio?
100%. I was actually able to see him in person last weekend and ask him a direct question about my family and their security, and the way he answered it with my 10-year-old with me, it made me really solidify why I would choose him as a candidate.
I'm really moving toward Rubio. I am very impressed with Senator Rubio and the understanding when he speaks that he's giving Americans the importance of this election.
Joining us now, Frank Luntz, who's CEO of Luntz Global and author of What Americans Really Want. Really. Frank, great to see you. So the focus group gets it, predicting a surge in Marco Rubio's momentum, and indeed, that's what we saw last night.
Yeah, and in fact, and Megan, I apologize for this, but this is what Iowa has left me. The other thing that we saw was the organization, and that's where Ted Cruz had the advantage. Donald Trump had significant support. But if you were supporting Ted Cruz, you came out and voted. So Fox had me project that one as well. Now let's see how that works for New Hampshire. I believe that Donald Trump's lead is so significant that no matter what happens in the debate on Saturday, Trump will still be the winner. The battle is for second place. Marco Rubio is in perfect position because New Hampshire voters are economic voters, whereas Iowa voters were social voters. Ted Cruz is going to have to wait for South Carolina for him to show well. And the fourth prediction is watch for a surprise with Chris. He has been rising in the New Hampshire polls. He's somewhere around 10% right now. He has the chance to show well. Trump wins. I think Rubio comes in second. Christie does better than expected, and Ted Cruz, his next surprise, will be South Carolina.
Wow. I mean, Rubio's nowhere near second in the polls right now, but of course no poll has taken account his finish in Iowa and perhaps the momentum he's built. Why are you saying Christie? Because the conventional wisdom is, okay, the establishment lane is going to get behind Marco Rubio now. And even though Christie's put in a lot of time on the ground in New Hampshire, he did very poorly in Iowa and does not have any momentum, I'd say, coming out of there. You tell me if I'm wrong.
I agree with you, but because nobody actually talks about establishment. It's not in the lexicon of the average voter. We pundits talk about it. Voters do not. Christie is one of the great debaters. When the chips are down, he's won a couple of these debates. And I think between him and Rubio, they have the capability to turn the undecided voters. Megan, I think up to 40% of New Hampshire voters can change their minds between now and next Tuesday.
That's what they're saying.
And the best debaters do the best on election night.
Let's talk about the torrent of ads that has been unleashed and will be unleashed, in particular against Rubio, probably Cruz now, maybe Trump. He hasn't really seen a lot of negative ads, some, but perhaps not as much as Marco Rubio, who in particular has been the focus of Jeb Bush. You dialed one of the super PAC supporting Jeb Bush. They unleashed this ad on Marco Rubio. Let's see how it did, and then you can tell us about it.
Marco Rubio. He ran for Senate saying he opposed amnesty. Then he flipped and worked with liberal Chuck Schumer to co-author the Path to Citizenship bill. He threatened to vote against it and then voted for it. He supported his own DREAM Act and then he abandoned it. Marco Rubio. Just another Washington politician you can't trust. Jeb Bush. He's a leader, so you always know where he stands. Right to Rise USA is responsible for the content of this message.
The lines did not look so good.
Look, they aren't so good. Jeb Bush will spend, when this is all over, $100 million. Unprecedented for a super PAC. And that money has been wasted. If I was a donor, if I was one of these people who contributed $500,000, I would demand my money back with interest. All of these ads have failed. They've got another one with Marco's boots, and it's done to the Nancy Sinatra song, "These boots are made for walking." It's crap. I don't know any other way. It's not persuasive. It doesn't turn voters. I cleaned up my language for you. I do not want to get thrown off the air. But when I play these ads to these focus groups, they use the actual word to describe their reaction.
Wow.
It's a waste of money, and it actually helps Rubio, and it hurts Bush at the same time.
Oh, really? So it has the reverse effect of that intended?
Because it makes people angry. They're angry at the person who hosts the ads. You heard the end of that. It says Jeb Bush is a leader. What people hear is Jeb Bush is running a negative ad against his friend Marco Rubio, and they hate it.
I can just picture the meeting with Frank where they call him in and they say, we want you to take a look at a couple ads. You're the guy, you wrote, words that work and so on. And they watch his face and he looks up and he says, crap, I say. It's crap. Frank?
Yeah, but you have to understand, in these private meetings, I don't use the C word.
Oh, well, that's good.
I use the S word.
Score.
Yeah.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have him back in a week and we'll see how he did on his New Hampshire prediction.